Laura here. I'm here today to do my June wrap up. I read 9 books and I listened to 1. So I'm going to talk about all the books I read and give you guys a brief overview. Every single book in this review video does have a corresponding longer review, so check those out. They're all on my channel and they're also all on my book likes blog if you guys want more detail. The first book I completed in this month was Midnight Queen by Sylvia Izzo Hunter. This is the first book in the Notice Magic series. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. The world building was a little bit hard for me to get into, so it wasn't like my all-time favorite book in the world, but I did really like it. I wish the world building made it a little bit more easier to get through. But again, check out my my subsequent review to see my longer thoughts. But I liked it. I'd be interested to see where the book series goes, and this was a historical fiction novel with fantasy. But yeah, so those are my brief thoughts about it. The next book I read was Undertow. Undertow by Michael Buckley. I gave this book 4 stars. I really liked it. It follows this character named Lyric, who lives on Coney Island, and in this world there is mermaids, kind of. I think more like evil mermaids or mysterious mermaids. They don't really look like mermaids, and they have a lot of physical deformities and stuff, and they're kind of camping out on the edge of Coney Island. And eventually it becomes revealed that they need to start going to school with the humans, and it's a very, very big class war. It's a lot of racial stuff is thrown in that you may not pick up if you don't really pay attention to it. But I really liked it. It was very, very fast paced, and it really used fantasy as a vehicle to look at something that happened in our past. Especially I was thinking the segregation laws about African Americans and whites all those years ago. It had a very, very similar racial and class feel, and why are these people not being given the same rights as everyone else? And I thought that was super, super interesting. And then to put it in a fantasy novel where that wasn't really the focus, but it really was super, super brilliant of Michael Buckley. His writing was engaging. It was a really, really cool characters to see develop. I want to know more. And the ending of the book was very, very interesting and compelling, and I cannot wait to read Raging Sea, which I think comes out next year. And the next book I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in Sarah J. Maas's new series. As we talked about in my non-spoiler review, this book follows a character named Freya, who inadvertently kills a fairy, and due to that, she has to go live in the fairy world, and the humans and fairies are not friends, and she's very, very dangerous for her to go live there. But it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so it's really interesting. Sarah J. Maas, as I said previously, makes very, very interesting and dynamic men. She has 4 very, very strong male characters that are all different and all unique. It wasn't until the end that I really realized, oh, this is a parallel to this, and this is a parallel to this. And I really, really liked it. It was so fast, so engaging, and I love the character of Freya. It was full with twists and turns that you don't see coming. Sarah J. Maas is a brilliant, brilliant world builder. This is a book that, the world building just enhances your enjoyment of the series, and it just was so complex and so diverse. It was just amazing. I cannot wait to see where this book series goes, and it really makes me want to actually finish Thorn of Glass. I have 2 books left, the novellas and Heir of Fire, which is currently on my bookshelf. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get to that relatively quick. But hopefully this summer I'll be able to finish that. But it was a really good book, 5 stars, such an amazing start to the series. I cannot say enough about it. And the next book I read was All Fell Down. This is the first book that I read by Ally Carter, but I really loved it. This is another book where, the foundation, the world building is amazing, and just, the place that the book is set really enhanced the novels. Follows this girl named Grace, who is living in this place, it's like a made-up country, so it doesn't really exist, but in this world it does. And she's living there on this road where all these embassies from different countries and all these kids inhabit these images, and they all become friends. but it's also like a murder mystery kind of about finding out what happened to Grace's mother. And there's a lot of political intrigue because, like, what really happened to Grace's mother? Was it murder? Was it suicide? But she is dead. They know that. And then Grace is determined to figure it out. But the old saying goes, you know, do you really want the whole truth? Do you not want to know the whole truth? And it's so interesting. I really loved it. Again, it was really, really fast-paced. A very, very quick read. First thing I've read by Allie Carter, but I really want to read her other series. High Society I heard is really good, and also, High Society and the other series that I can't remember. I know it has to do with the boarding school. If you know what the series is called, comment below, and I would be forever grateful. I can't remember right now. I think it's not called The Gallagher Girls. That's not what it's called. But yeah, it was a very, 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 very good book, and the ending shocked me. I did not see the ending coming in any shape or form. Check out my non-spoiler review for more information if you want to know more, as I said before. But it was a very, very good 5 stars. Such a fast-paced read, and I cannot wait to see where book 2 in this series goes. And then the next book I read was Take Me On by Katie McGarry. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was great. I loved seeing Wes again. We met him first in Crash Into You and finally getting to meet Haley. It was a very, very fast book with mixed martial arts fighting as a backdrop, which I know nothing about, but just exploring this book with it was so, so amazing. And I loved Katie McGarry so much. I didn't get to reread the Crossing the Line novella, but hopefully I'll get to do that at some point over the summer because it's a really, really quick read. But yeah, it was such a good book. If you have not read Katie McGarry's series, what have you been doing with your life? Get on it. Read Pushing the Limits. Read them all. They are so fast. Such amazing contemporaries. If you love contemporary novels, please, I'm begging you, pick up this series. That is my PSA for the day. And the next book I read was Magnolia by Maria Dashfer Headley. I got this in my Owl Crate unboxing in May. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite book. I had a little bit of problem with the narrator and a little bit of problem with the world building. But towards the end, I really wanted to see like what was going to happen in the future of this series. So I'm intrigued to see exactly what does happen in the future. But it just was not my favorite book that I read this month, unfortunately. But I'm willing to give her a chance and read her subsequent books in the series. The next book I read was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It is summer here. It is beautiful weather. And this just made me want to get out and go on a road trip or a bike trip because that's what I have at my disposal. But it gives a lot of like music lists. So if you're in the mood for new music, I highly recommend anything by Morgan Matson. All her books, the books I've read at least, have like a big music component. Such a good book. Check out my non-spoiler review for both her books that I have on my channel. And throughout the month of June, I've been listening to The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I was able to complete it. And when I went to go get Jennifer Lynn Barnes' next book, The Killer Instinct, I realized that it wasn't out on audiobook. So I got it from my library, and I read it. It was amazing. A great follow-up to the first book. We learned much more about the character of Dean in this, and just learned more about all the students in general. This is like a college-based book, but like in high school. Like it was such a good book. Highly recommend it. Check out my non-spoiler review if you want more information. And the last book I've read in June was Since You've Been Gone. This, again, was an amazing read. 5 stars. It follows this girl named Emily whose best friend Sloane goes missing or vanishes, and she's left with 13 things she must do. And they're all a little bit out of her comfort zone, and she's kind of a wallflower at the start of the book, but it really makes her become more of a person and not just her best friend's friend. And it was an amazing read. Check out my non-spoiler review. I'll give you a lot more details on all of these books. But I had such a good reading month. I'm still debating what I'm going to read next. So check out my July TBR for a general idea. I'm still debating if I'm going to read The Heiress by Sarah Shepard first or Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. Still in the deciding factor. But I hope you guys are having a good day or good evening, as the case may be here. As always, subscribe to my channel. I'm having a little bit of a contest. If I can get 10 subscribers by September, I will do a giveaway. We will see what it is. I don't know yet. As always, Twitter and Goodreads, go to those. But have a very nice day, everyone.